बोलेंगे श्रील गुरुदेव की जय, अनंत कोटि वैष्णव की जय। ओवर टू यू प्रभु जी। हरे कृष्णा, धन्यवाद, प्रणाम।
Hare Krishna, Nitesh Babu, thank you so much for wonderful Kirtan. And Hare Krishna, welcome back all the devotees for today's Chaitanya Charitamrita study class. So, I'd like to thank His Grace Nityan Prabhu for giving me opportunity to glorify and discuss few intricacies of Lord's pastimes in his preparations to South India tour. So, Lord's tour is always auspicious. Lord's activities are always auspicious. And every activity of the Lord will give us a wonderful message. Every pastime of the Lord gives us wonderful message for us to follow his footsteps and footsteps of his few devotees. Let us see what is hidden in today's discussion. So, as you're all aware that we are in chapter 7 and we'll be discussing from text 41 onwards. Let me try to, because I have some issue with my system. Is very, very slow today. Let me share the screen of Vedabase. Is this visible to everyone?
Yeah, starting to.
Hare Krishna.
No, Prabhuji.
Screen is not visible.
No, it's
No
sharing,
problem.
Prabhu. It's still sharing. Yeah, now we can see.
Okay. Thank you, Prabhu. Because live stream also not happening. Nitya Prabhu, I'll make you as a co-host. Can you please do the recording?
Okay, Prabhu ji. I'll do that.
Recording on cloud.
Okay, Prabhu. I'll do that.
Because for some reason, very slow. Yes, Prabhu. Hare Krishna. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Daita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Jaya Jaya Sri Chaitanya Jaya Nityananda Jaya Dvaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna. So we'll be discussing from Chaitanya Charitamrita chapter 7, text Madhya Lila chapter 7, text 41 onwards. If there is any issue with either audio or video, please stop me in between, because my system for some reason it's very, very slow and there is some issue. So text 41, Chaitanya Charitamrita, Madhya Lila, chapter 7, text 41. तबे तंत्र वाक्य प्रभु करी अंगीकारे ताहा सबलान गेला सार्वभौम घरे. Accepting the request of Lord Nityananda Prabhu, Lord Chaitanya took all his devotees and went to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So we have been discussing the last few weeks, or from last week, about Lord's South India tour, preparations for Lord's South India tour, how Lord Nityananda Prabhu and other devotees, they all wanted to trying to convince Lord Chaitanya Prabhu to have someone with him during his South India tour to assist, to serve Lord Chaitanya. But Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, very adamant. He was not ready to agree. Finally, Lord Nityananda made him to agree to have one devotee called Krishna Dasa to assist and serve during his South India tour. Now, today we will be seeing still preparations will be going on. Lord is not starting the tour actually in today's section. We'll be witnessing some of the wonderful pastimes happening during his preparation of a South India tour. So here in this verse, you can see Lord Nityananda Prabhu had made him to agree to take one devotee called Krishna Dasa with him. And Chaitanya Prabhu accepted the request. And with all the devotees, first he went to the house of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya before he started his South India tour. Now it is very important for us to understand the relevance of visiting, because every activity of the Lord has a hidden meaning in it. First of all, why South India tour? What is the importance? I heard somewhere, I don't have the reference of that, but it is very, very apt and appears to be very convincing. The reason, one of the reasons, of course, Lord is independent personality. He can do anything. But one of the reasons for his South India tour is, if we try to visualize, whole of this material world is south. If you see the Goloka chart, the Lord and all his abodes are towards north side. At least on the Goloka chart perspective, if we see towards the south, the whole material world has been manifested. Now, one of the reason which was explained by a devotee, I don't, as I mentioned, I don't have a reference, but it appears very, very convincing for me that Lord's coming to this material world is to not for Lord's fun. Lord does so many wonderful pastimes in this material world. But what is the main reason? To reclaim all the conditioned souls who have left the Lord's abode and came to this material world. So Lord's South India tour also indicates Lord's desire to reclaim the conditioned souls from this material world. So Lord personally, as he comes to this material world to reclaim and does so many wonderful pastimes, does so many incarnations in this material world. Similarly, the same can be explained with reference to Lord's South India tour. So South India here indicates Lord's appearing in this material world from his spiritual abode, where Lord does all the pastimes. So here is the Lord Chaitanya Prabhu visiting various places, at least for South India's perspective, if we try to understand. Lord's tour to South India. Is one of the reasons is to reclaim the so many, because South India, of course, there are so many Vaishnavas in the South India from different sampradayas. So Lord wants to give the real transcendental knowledge to people in this material world, people in South India, and he want to deliver all of them. So that was one of the reason for Lord's appearing in this material world and conducting or participating in the South India tour. So the purpose of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu's first visiting the house of Saurabha Bhattacharya. Saurabha Bhattacharya is considered as a spiritual master for many. So Lord here, though he has become a spiritual master and he has given the transcendental knowledge to him and transformed Saurabha Bhattacharya from hardcore impersonalist to a pure Vaishnava. So Lord is setting a standard that for us, before we take up any activity, first we have to take permission from our spiritual master. So here is Saurabha Bhattacharya. He is playing the role of a spiritual master. He is a Brihaspati himself. So in this particular section, Lord is giving a message to all of us that the importance of taking blessings of a spiritual master. Though he himself is a spiritual master for every one of us, but still in this material world, it is important for every one of us to have a spiritual master and take his blessings and instructions from time to time. So the Lord wants to set the standard, to be a role model. So he has visited the house of Saurabha Bhattacharya. Text 42. Namaskari Saurabhoma asana nivedila sabha kire mile tabe asane vasila. As soon as they entered his house, Saurabha Bhattacharya offered the Lord obeisances and a place to sit. After seating all the others, Bhattacharya took his seat. See, as I mentioned, the purpose of Lord's visiting South India tour, it indicates Lord's appearance in this material world, and Lord's visiting Saurabha Bhattacharya's house indicates the importance of every one of us to take shelter of a spiritual master and take permission for any activity we do. Because this body, once we take a shelter of spiritual master, doesn't belong to us, it belongs to spiritual master. So any decision in our life which is affecting our spiritual life, spiritual progress, directly or indirectly, one must approach a spiritual master or his bona fide representative and take his permission and blessings. So this is exactly what Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is doing here in this section. So moment Lord entered the house, Saurabha Bhattacharya offered obeisances to the Lord and offered a place to sit. Text 43. Nana Krishna Vata kahi le tanhare, tomare thani aila atna magi bare. After they had discussed various topics about Lord Krishna, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu informed Saurabha Bhattacharya, I have come to your place just to receive your order. See the humility of Lord Chaitanya. So, since he is playing a role of a devotee and giving importance to Saurabha Bhattacharya as a spiritual master and a Brahmana and a Vaishnava, so he was requesting a permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. So let us see what is the discussion Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is going to have with Bhattacharya, how he wants to convey the message. Now, actually, when he says, I have come to your place just to receive your order, now he is preparing to drop a bomb on the head of Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, because so far Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is not aware of the plans of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, that he wants to leave every one of us, every one of the devotees in Jagannath Puri and leave to South India. So Bhattacharya was not aware of that. Now he is going to drop a bomb on his head. Now it is a real test for us to witness and prepare ourselves when Lord leaves us and or we leave the Lord. So let us see what Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is going to address. Sanyasakari Vishwarupa Giyache Dakshine Avesha Kariba Ami Tanra Anveshane. My elder brother Vishwarupa has taken sannyasa and gone to South India. Now I must go search for him. So this exactly indicates what I was discussing before. Now Lord is indicating a reason for his South India trip. Externally he says that my elder brother Vishwarupa has taken sannyasa and gone to South India. But actually what he meant, that all my children, Supreme Personality of Godhead is saying, they have left me and went to this material world in search of their own happiness. So this is a hidden meaning which Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is indicating here, that I must go for them and reclaim. This is a real reason. In none of his South India tour, there was no, at least as I remember, of his searching for his brother Vishwarupa. But he has been delivering so many fallen conditioned souls. So this is the real essence of Lord's South India trip. So he wants to reclaim all the fallen conditioned souls like us. So Lord wants us to, Lord wants to actually leave us and go away. So in this section, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is telling Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya that he is asking permission from Bhattacharya that he wants to go to South India. So he is expressing his desire that he wants to leave the devotees of Jagannath Puri and go away. So this is kind of a real test for us, that when the similar thing happened when after Kurukshetra war, Krishna wants to leave Hastinapura and go to Dwarka. So he was asking permission from all the Pandavas and other elders in Hastinapura that give me permission. It's a long time. No, I have to go back to Dwarka. Now Kunti Maharani again, she tried so many things and trying to convince Lord Chaitanya Prabhu to stay for some more time. So exactly that's what is going to happen here. So, and again, it is similar to what Krishna has told Vrajavasis, that I will go to Mathura and come back very soon. Don't worry. And of course, he never came back, as we see, but he never left Vrindavan. Both we can understand. So when Lord is leaving us, actually is not leaving us. When Lord left Vrindavan and all the gopis, including Srimati Radharani, felt the separation from the Lord. Actually, he didn't leave because he was sitting in the hearts of all the Brajavasis, in their thoughts, in their separation. Always they were thinking about the Supreme Lord. So when actually physically Lord appears to be departing from us, that feeling of separation gives more thoughts about the Lord, more meditation about the Lord. So Lord is actually not leaving us. So that takes us to text 45. आज्ञा देहा अवश्य आमी दक्षिणे चलिबा तुम्हारा आज्ञाते सुखे लियोति आसीबा. Please permit me to go, for I must tour South India. With your permission, I shall soon return very happily. So this is exactly what Krishna has told Brajavasis. I will come back. I am going to Mathura. So I'll come back very soon. I'll be very happy. You will be very happy. So Chaitanya Prabhu here exactly telling the same. Please permit me to go. He is again exhibiting the standard. Because here Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is playing a role of a devotee and Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya is a guru. In this particular section, you can see that. So he is requesting permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Please permit me to go. Agna Deha. Give me permission. He says what he is going to do. For what? Avashya ami dakshine chaliba. I must. Dakshine. Here Sri Prabhupada translates as South India. But if you see the Goloka chart, actually Lord descending from Goloka towards the south of the whole structure. Of course, the whole structure is totally different. But and when we try to visualize, this is what we can understand. So, Dakshine. Avashya ami Dakshine chaliba. I must go down to this material world. Tomar agnate sukhe luyoti asiba. See, when I come back, I'll be very happy. Why Lord will be happy? Because he is going to deliver so many conditioned souls. This is a mission of the Lord. When we go to visit even dhams or South India trip, or maybe we go to Western countries, our purpose is totally different. We want to enjoy. Of course, dham visit, always we add a tag that to dham visit, but actually there is always a tinge of enjoyment during our tour, desire of enjoyment. So here Lord is telling that Tumara agnate sukhe luyoti asiba. With your permission, I shall soon return very happily. So Lord's appearing in this material world is to reclaim, and that reclamation process gives Lord very happiness. So now question is, whose permission Lord is asking? Here is Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya, who has been delivered by Lord himself. He was impersonalist and Lord has transformed into pure Vaishnava. And here, the same Lord, the same Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. And Lord is asking permission from Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya. Oh, please permit me. So this is the humility of the Lord. And this is again, Lord is playing as a role model for us, how one must behave when we approach a spiritual master. Text 46. Suni Sarvabhauma haila atyanta katara charane dhariya kahe vishada uttara. Upon hearing this, Sarvabhauma Bhattacharya became very much agitated. catching hold of the Lord's lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he gave this sorrowful reply. Now, Sarvabhattacharya is preparing his ground to retain the Lord for as much as possible in Jagannath Puri. So, similarly, the message here is that we must feel morose, sad, to leave the association of the Lord and his devotee. Not that one must be very happy. I'm leaving at least. No, for next 1 month, I'm on vacation. I'm going to India. I'm going here. I'm going there. So I don't have to associate with this Chaitanya Charitamrita group or the devotees of Krishna Katha Desh or Mathura Desh. At least next 1 month, I'll be very happy. No. So this is a mood of Sarvabhattacharya one must understand. How Sarvabhattacharya is feeling very morose, very sad that he will not be having association of the Lord. That should be our mood, that we must feel morose when we leave association of the Lord and his devotee. Now he is catching the lotus feet of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu and he is giving this reply. Bahu janmera punya phale painu tomara sangha hena sangha vidhi mora kari leka bangha. Very, very beautiful sloka. Very beautiful sloka. This is exactly what Krishna was telling. Bahunam janma namante. So in Bhagavad Gita, he says in chapter 7, text 19, he says, after so many millions of lifetimes, one gets an opportunity to understand the Supreme Person of Godhead. And we should not leave that opportunity. So here, Sarvabhattacharya is reminding us that Bahu janmera punya phale painu tomara sangha. I got your association after so many millions of lifetimes. And you are simply saying, I am going, please give me permission. How it is possible? So, again, it is a lesson for us that to understand, realize that this opportunity of devotee association is very, very rare. We should not take it very light. We should preserve it with very carefully. And we should not give up the association of your devotees and the Lord. And now he says that Hena Sangha Vidhi Mora Kari Leka Bhanga. He says this association, such a wonderful association which I got after millions of lifetimes, who is breaking this? Vidhi Mora Kori Leka Bhanga. Providence is breaking. Vidhi, the destiny. What destiny is doing? Kari Leka Bhanga. He says destiny is breaking this association. What is this destiny we are talking about? This destiny here, what we are talking about is our own past karma, our own desires. Lord has made this arrangement for us to bring to this wonderful association of devotees. And we carry so much of desires to enjoy separately from the Lord. Don't want to be part of wonderful devotee association. So, the Vidhi, what Sarvabhattacharya is talking about is our own past karma. So, our own past actions and desires separating us from the Lord. So, we ourselves are breaking this inviolable association. Kari Leka Bhanga. So, this wonderful association is we are intending to break and go away from the Lord. Text 48. Very, very beautiful realizations when we are discussing any discussion of the Lord with his devotees. Use in this, particularly in this Chaitanya Charitamrita, there are so many wonderful discussions. Lord Chaitanya Prabhu and Sarvabhaumacharya, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu and Ramananda, which we are going to see in chapter 8. Very beautiful, very deep discussion. We are going to swim in that ocean of nectar very soon, in chapter 8. So, and discussion between Lord Chaitanya Prabhu and Sanatana Goswami. Everything is happening in this Madhya Lila. And Rupa Goswami, very deep transcendental knowledge, very deep realizations. Here you see what Sarvabhaumacharya is saying. Sire Vajra Pade Yadi Putra Mari Yaya Tahas Sahi Tumara Vicheda Sahana Nayaya. He says, if thunderbolt falls on my head, or if my son dies, I can tolerate. But I cannot endure the unhappiness of separation from you, my Lord. See the mood of Sarvabhaumacharya. He says that Sire Vajra Padi Yadi Putra Mari Yaya. Says, even thunderbolt falls on my head, and if I die, or even if my son dies, Putra Mari Yaya. Says Taha Sahi. He says that I can tolerate that. Taha Sahi. That I can tolerate. Means anything happening in this material world can be tolerated, but for Tomara Vicheda Sahana Nayaya. He says Tomara Vicheda. Association. Vicheda means separation. Tomara Vicheda Sahana Nayaya. It is not possible for me to tolerate. So, this is what Sarvabhaumacharya is saying. He is making very strong statements here to express his intolerance of separation. So, this is exactly what we also see in the 10th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam about the separation of Vrajavasis when Lord leaves them and goes to Mathura. So, this is exactly the same, the feeling of separation. When we also chant Hare Krishna Mahamantra, this should be our mood, as Sri Prabhupada says. Our mood should not be somehow to complete the round, somehow to complete the 16 rounds of Hare Krishna Mahamantra. When we are chanting, we should actually feel separation from the Lord. When we feel separation from the Lord, Lord is actually present with us. So we must not externally, but we must realize, we must feel the separation. And here is what we understand. This separation gives all unhappiness. This unhappiness cannot be measured with any other unhappiness in this material world. Here is giving comparison of even my son dies, thunderbolt falls on my head, no problem, I can tolerate. But my Lord, I cannot tolerate your separation. The separation from the Lord and his devotees cannot be tolerated. Text 49. Swatantra Ishvara Tumi Karibe Gamana Dina Kataraha Dekhi Tomara Charana. He says, Swatantra Ishvara Tumi Karibe Gamana. You are an independent personality. Lord can do everything as per will and wish. He don't have to even ask Sarvabhaumacharya for permission. He can do anything what he wants. He can simply disappear from here, go to South India, and again disappear from there, go to North India. Anything can do. So Sarvabhaumacharya is highlighting here that Swatantra Ishvara Tumi Karibe Gamana. You can do anything what you want. And you will do, I know you will do what you want. Whatever I am saying, you may or may not accept, but you will do whatever you will wish. But still, Dina Kathoraha Dekhi Tomara Charana. I ask you to stay here for a few more days so that I can see your lotus feet. So please stay here for some more time so that I can serve you. See, Lord is independent and he can do whatever he wants. So as we see here, only pure devotees can control the Lord. Like how Yashodamai was binding the Lord to the wooden motor. How Kunti Maharani made the Lord to stay back for some more time when he wanted to leave Hastinapura and go to Dwaraka. Similarly, here we see Sarvabhaumacharya is trying to bind the Lord in Jagannath Puri for some more time. So that indicates that only pure devotees. Lord is controlled by his pure devotees only. So this is the message for us. Text 50. Tahara Vinaya Prabhura Stila Hailamana Rahila Divasa Katho Nakaila Gamana. This is upon hearing Saurabh Bhattacharya's request. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu relented. He stayed a few days longer and did not depart. So, Lord comes under control of his pure devotees and accepts. He dances as per their tunes. It doesn't mean that devotees want him to dance, but the Lord is prepared for that. So here the mood of Saurabh Bhattacharya for asking Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is to not only for him to have his association, but he wanted to give that opportunity to associate with the Lord to all the residents of Jagannath Puri. Now, from verse 50 to 53, we see there are wonderful pastimes happened, though pastimes are not explained in this chapter, but I take this opportunity to explain the few pastimes happened in Saurabh Bhattacharya's house during this period. This was explained in, I think, chapter 15 of Madhya Lila. But we'll try to discuss too, so that we prepare our consciousness when we go to chapter 15. We can relish those pastimes, wonderful pastimes the Lord has done. Text 51. Bhattacharya agrahakari karana nimantrana grihe pakakari prabhu ke karana bhojana. The Bhattacharya eagerly invited Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to his home and fed him very nicely. It didn't happen as just it explained here. Let us see what further Krishna Kaviraj Goswami says here. Tanhara Brahmani Tanrak Nama Sathira Mata Randhi Bhiksha Dena Tenho Ashcharya Tanra Katha. The Bhattacharya's wife, whose name was Sati Mata, the mother of Sati, did the cooking. The narrations of these pastimes were very wonderful, which were not actually covered in this section. Text 53. Ageta kahi bataha kariya vistara ebe kahi prabhura dakshina yatra samachara. Later I shall tell about this in elaborate detail, but at present I wish to describe Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's South Indian tour. So here I would like to stop sharing this and try to discuss the few aspects of those pastimes which actually happened in Saurabha Bhattacharya's house. When all these pastimes were described by Krishna Kaviraj Goswami in Madhya Lila chapter 15. Very detailed, more than 200 slokas were mentioned or given in the chapter, describing the various pastimes of Lord Chaitanya Prabhu in Sarvabhattacharya's house when he stayed back for prasadam. 5 days he stayed. Now, it is not actually the 5 days. When Sarvabhattacharya started requesting Chaitanya Prabhu, first he said, "My dear Lord, you must stay in my house for 1 month." So the whole negotiation started with 1 month. He said, Lord said, no. What 1 month? It's nonsense. I cannot. I am a renounced person. I am a sannyasi. I am not supposed to stay 1 month in a Grihastha's house like this. I cannot stay. I have to go. I will stay for 1 day. So see the negotiation happening between Sarvabhattacharya and the Lord. He says, 1 month? No, 1 day. Then Sarvabhattacharya is coming down. He said, my Lord, at least 20 days. He said, no, I am a sannyasi. I cannot stay for 1 day. 10 days? No, 1 day. So actually, when we are discussing this chapter 15, very detailed, deep discussion was happening. I'm just trying to cover the summary because I don't want to repeat everything what we are going to do. I'm just trying to give a gist of pastime of Lord in Sarvabhattacharya's house. Finally, Sarvabhattacharya says 5 days. And Lord, okay, he accepted for 5 days. Now, these 5 days, so many things happened. Very detailed explanation of how the wife of Sarvabhattacharya, Sati Mata, she prepared wonderful recipes. So many dishes she prepared. Very detailed explanation. Then so many names of those recipes which we never heard. Maybe some of the Bengalis and Oriya devotees might have come across these various names of recipes. I never heard majority of them, which were detailed explanations given in chapter 15. So we are not going into all those. So she prepared so many varieties. So many varieties. It is like a more than Chapan book. And everything was offered to Lord Jagannath, Lord Jagannath. And now Sarvabhattacharya has invited Lord Chaitanya Prabhu to sit for prasadam. So before he come take prasadam, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu goes to Jagannath Mandir and he comes back and washes his feet and enters the room where Sarvabhattacharya is making arrangement to serve. He has served in a, I think it was banana leaf. So it is a huge hill of rice and so many varieties of preparations. And Lord Chaitanya Prabhu was astonished to see this. He says that there is so much food here and it's impossible to eat for anybody. He says that I am alone. I am one person. Lord Chaitanya says that Tathapi etekam anna khaunana yaya bhatta kahe jani khao yate ka yuyaya. He says, I cannot eat this. But he says, I know you can eat. I know how much you can eat. Then why I am quoting this is here Sarvabhattacharya establishes that Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is, see, who was Sarvabhattacharya? He was impersonalist before. No? When he was transformed by Lord Chaitanya Prabhu, he is completely, he has become so self-realized soul. He could understand the supremacy of the Lord. Not only that, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu is a great personality, But he understood that he is none other than Krishna himself. And here, this particular pastime, very sweet pastime which happened in the house of Sarup Bhattacharya, it highlights who is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Bhattacharya says, I know how much you can eat, my Lord. Then he gives references. What he says? He says, Lila chale bhojana tumi kara bayanna bara eka eka bhogera anna sata sata bhara. He says in Neelachala, at Jagannath Puri, of course they are in Jagannath Puri only, he is connecting Jagannath's pastime. After all, in Jagannath Puri, you eat 51 times every day, 52 times every day. He says, Bayanna Bara. Bayanna Bara means 52 times. And he says, you, Tumi. Neelachale Bhojana Tumi Kara. You are eating, as the Lord Jagannath, you are eating 52 times per day. And each time you eat hundreds of buckets filled with prasadam. So it is not a little quantity. So Sarup Bhattacharya is telling him, oh, what is that I am serving here? It is one morsel only compared to what you eat. You are eating, as Lord Jagannath, you are eating so much. Then he continues. He says that at Dwaraka, you keep 16,000 queens in 16,000 palaces. And also there are 18 mothers and numerous friends and relatives of Yadu dynasty. There, everyone is serving you. So everyone is feeding you. And you ate everything. Now you are doing all this drama. Indirectly, he's saying, hey, don't do all this drama. I know what is your capacity. You eat daily 52 times and each time hundreds of buckets of rice. And in Dwaraka, what you did? 16,000 queens in 16,000 palaces. Everywhere you eat. Swaha. And also you have 18 mothers and numerous friends and relatives in Yadudan. Everybody is feeding. And you ate everything. And now you are doing all this drama. And also again he says, in Vrindavana, you also have your father's elder brothers, and your father's younger brothers, and all these references he is giving. Coward men, all these coward boyfriends, everyone, they were feeding you. And you eat twice a day, morning and evening, in the house of each and every one. All those people, Vrindavana, so many people are there, so many coward boys and gopis, and you eat in every house twice a day, morning and evening, each and every one, every house. Then finally comes to one very important point. Then when Sarup Bhattacharya is telling, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was feeling embarrassed because he is a Channavatar. He is indicating, shh, shh, shh. He's telling Sarup Bhattacharya, hey, don't. But Sarup Bhattacharya is in ecstatic mode. He continues. He says, indeed, Sarup Bhattacharya continues. He says, in Govardhana Puja ceremony, you ate stacks of rice, my Lord. You forgot? In comparison to that, this small quantity is not even morsel for you. It says, Govardhana Yagne Anna Khaila Rasi Rasi. In Govardhana pastime, Govardhana Yagna Anna Khaila Rasi Rasi. Tara Lekhaya E Anna Nahe Ekagrasi. Compared to what you did, what you ate, this is one morsel, my Lord. Don't do all this drama. ये अच्छा नहीं लगता है. Don't do all these things. Please eat. So he says that you are Supreme Personality of Godhead, whereas I am the most insignificant living being. So ज़्यादा नाटक मत करो. Says, therefore, please accept a little quantity of food from my house. So very wonderful pastimes happened. to cut the long story short, when Lord, okay, finally accepted, he said, okay, fine, no problem. So he started eating. There actually one incident happened, which we are going to discuss in detail in chapter 15. Very beautiful pastime. Sarvabhattacharya, he has a daughter called Sati. That's why Bhattacharya's wife is called Sati Mata. So Sati's husband, his name was Amogha. He is of course, he's a Brahmana, he's a Vaishnava, but he is very envious person and fault-finding personality. So I'm not going very detailed past time how he was delivered, Amogha was delivered, but I give very brief past time. When Sarvabhattacharya Bhattacharya was feeding Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Amogha was not allowed to come in because Sarvabhattacharya knows Amogha is a very envious person and fault-finding. So he made sure that Amogha is not entering into the room. But when Sarvabhattacharya was in ecstatic mode, he was serving Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, Amogha somehow peeped in. He entered the hall where Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was honoring Prasad. He has seen the plate of Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He said, wow, what is this? He says, what is this man? He is a sannyasi. This food, 10 to 12 people can eat. And he is eating alone and he is sannyasi. This is not right. He should not be doing this. So when Amogha was talking like this, Sarvabhattacharya was very angry. He wanted to kick Amogha out and he forcefully sent Amogha out. And of course, Lord continued. Lord was smiling, he continued, he had his prasadam, very long past time. The whole chapter goes on this. So, but Sarvabhattacharya is feeling so ashamed that Lord was insulted by his son-in-law. He says, let this man die. Let my daughter become widow. No problem. But this man, Amogha, should not be alive. So he took it to his heart. He says, no, Lord cannot be insulted like this. And he and his wife started fasting for so many days. He says, no, Lord was insulted. I cannot tolerate this. When, of course, this is a very long past time it is. In the process, what happened? Amogha fell sick and he was on deathbed. And when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard about this, actually he inquired, what is happening in Sarvabhattacharya's house? All this happened within these 5 days. When he heard that this all happened and Amogha is on deathbed, and he says, no, he is son-in-law of my pure devotee, Sarvabhattacharya. How can he went and he put his hand on his chest and he cured him. Of course, it's a very long past time. As I said, we're not going in detail. Then he was delivered and he comes back to Sarvabhattacharya's house. And Sarvabhattacharya heard all these things, what happened, how Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was delivered his son-in-law. He was asking, Lord, my Lord, what have you done? This man, he is worth dying. You should not have delivered him. He has insulted you. Then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very, he pacified Sarvabhattacharya. He said, no, what he has done, what he has told is not right. No, I am a sannyasi. I should not. That's why always I say, no, I should not, you people should not be serving me like this. People will talk unnecessarily. So he so many pastimes like this happened. And finally, after that, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when all these pastimes happened, he left from there. In text 54, we see just another couple of verses we'll cover and then we'll stop. Text 54, he says, Dina Panchara hi Prabhu Bhattacharya sthane Chali bara lagi agna magila pani. So after staying for 5 days at the home of Sarvabhaumacharya, so much of things happened in these 5 days. What I covered was in a very, very nutshell. But it takes many weeks and months for us to keep discussing those past tense. It all we are going to see in chapter 15. And Sri Chaitanya Prabhu personally asked the permission to depart for South India. Again, after 5 days of staying in Sarvabhaumacharya's house, he leaves. He begs permission from Sarvabhaumacharya to go to South India tour. Text 55, he says, Prabhura agrahe Bhattacharya sammata hi aila Prabhu Tanre Lana Jagannatha Mandira Gela. After receiving Bhattacharya's permission, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu went to see Lord Chaitanya, Lord Jagannatha in the temple. He took Bhattacharya with him. So, Lord Chaitanya Prabhu took permission from Swarup Bhattacharya, and before leaving Jagannath Puri, he went to Lord Jagannath. So, this again, Lord is putting a standard for us, is making a standard, creating a standard for us that first we have to, before approaching the Supreme Lord, first we have to go through only spiritual master. So he took permission from Bhattacharya, then went to Lord Jagannath. So this is again lesson for us that we cannot approach the Lord directly, but we have to go through spiritual master. Text 56 says that Darshanakari Thakura Pasa Agna Magila Pujari Prabhure Mala Prasada Anidila. Seeing Lord Jagannatha, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also begged his permission. The priest then immediately delivered prasadam and a garland to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu got permission from Swarup Bhattacharya and then begged permission from Lord Jagannath. And when priest has given prasad and the garland of Lord Jagannatha to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, so Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted it as a permission from Lord Jagannath. Agnamala Pana Harse Namaskara Kari Anande Dakshina Dese Chale Gaura Hari. Thus receiving Lord Jagannath's permission in the form of a garland, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances and then in great jubilation, he prepared to depart for South India. So now his actual journey starts from here. So in text 58, Bhattacharya Sange Ara Yata Nija Gana Jagannatha Pradakshina Kari Karila Gamana. Accompanied by his personal associates and Saurabh Bhattacharya, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu circumambulated the altar of Jagannatha. The Lord then departed on his South India tour. Text 59. Samudra Tire Tire Alalnatha Pathe Sarobhauma Kahilena Acharya Gopinathe. While the Lord was going along the path to Alalnatha, which was located on the seashore, Saurabh Bhattacharya gave the following orders to Gopinath Acharya. Text 60. Chari Kopina Bahirvasa Rakhiyachi Gahre Taha Prasada Anna Lana Aisa Vipradvare. Bring the 4 sets of loin clothes and outer garments I kept at home, and also some prasadam of Lord Jagannatha. You may carry these things with the help of some brahmanas. Now, Saurabh Bhattacharya is making arrangements to give some of the items to Lord Chaitanya Prabhu for him to carry during his South India tour. Tabe Sarobhauma Kahe Prabhura Charane Avishya Palibe Prabhu Mora Nivedane. Very important instruction here. While Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was departing, Saurabh Bhattacharya submitted the following at his lotus feet. My Lord, I have one final request that I hope you will kindly fulfill. So we'll see what is his request and then we'll stop. Ramananda Raye Ache Godavari Tire Adhikari Hayana Tenho Vidyanagare. He says that in the town of Vidyanagara, on the bank of Godavari, there is a responsible government officer named Ramananda Raya. So who is Ramananda? Ramananda Raya was never met Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as of now. Now, Sarvabhattacharya is making the scene, setting the scene. The next chapter, what we are going to discuss, is a beautiful chapter, the discussions between Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Ramananda Raya. So here is Sarvabhattacharya is setting the scene for the wonderful discussion to happen. Now he is connecting Ramananda Raya to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. So he says that Shudra Vishayi Gnane Upeksha Na Karibe Amara Vachane Tamre Avashya Milibe. He says, please do not neglect him, thinking he belongs to a Shudra family engaged in material activities. It is my request, my Lord, that you must meet him without fail. So he is telling, Sarvabhattacharya is telling Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that Ramananda Raya is a fit person. He says in verse 64, Tomara Sanghera Yogya Tenho Eka Jana. He is only one man. Tomara Sanghera Yogya. He is only one man who is fit to associate with you. We know Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, generally, he never discusses the confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna with anybody. And Ramananda Raya is one very such rare personalities with whom that sit and discuss the confidential pastimes of Radha and Krishna. So, why it happened? Because of a spiritual master. Here again, spiritual master is only one who can recommend about us to Supreme Lord, that, oh, this man is a fit person, please accept him. And Lord accepts. Sarvabhattacharya is playing the role of a spiritual master here. He is recommending, this gentleman is good. Here I know him very well. Without recommendation of spiritual master, Lord will not accept us. He says, Tomara Sanghera Yogya Teno Eki Jana. Spiritual master tells Lord that Tomara Sanghera Yogya. He is a fit person to associate with you. To come to this Golak Vrindavana, he is a fit person. Prithvite Rasika Bhakta Nahi Tanra Sama. In this material world, there is no Rasika Bhakta like Ramananda Raya. No other devotee can compare with him in knowledge of transcendental mellows. Rasika Bhakta. He knows the intricacies of the sweet pastimes between Lord Krishna and Srimati Radharani. So the discussion goes on, and he is introducing. I'll stop here because the discussion goes on another 4 or 5 verses. Then, of course, maybe we can just read the translations for next 3 verses. Then we can stop. He says that he is the most learned scholar as well as an expert in devotional mellows. Actually, he is most exalted. And if you talk with him, you will see how glorious he is. So the spiritual master recommends us like this to Supreme Lord. He says, I could not realize when I first spoke with Ramananda Raya in text 66, he says that his topics and endeavors were all transcendentally uncommon. I made fun of him simply because he was a Vaishnava. Because Sarvabhattacharya was in a different platform before, was impersonalist. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu transformed him. So he met Ramananda Raya before he was in a previous ashram on a platform of impersonalism. So he remembers his discussion with Ramananda Raya. After that, the whole discussion happened with Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He didn't meet Ramananda Raya, but he understood, he realized, oh, what a great offense I did. Ramananda Raya was a great personality. I couldn't realize that time, but now I'm realizing. How he can realize? Because of a transformation what he got from Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He says that I did not realize first when I spoke to him that his topics and endeavors were all transcendentally uncommon. He is a great personality. I made fun of him simply because he was a Vaishnava. Because being impersonalist, Mayavadi, he was against Vaishnavas. So he made a fun of him. So that was And he says that in verse 67, Bhattacharya said, by your mercy, I can now understand the truth about Ramananda. In talking with him, you also will acknowledge his greatness. So then Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this is the last verse we discuss here. Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Saurabhuma Bhattacharya's request that he meet Ramananda. Bidding Saurabhuma farewell, Lord embraced him. Angikara Kari Prabhu Tanhara Vachana Tanre Vidaya Dite Tanre Kaila Alingana. So here the concluding message for today's discussion is that when spiritual master recommends us to Supreme Lord, Lord will accept. Lord Chaitanya Prabhu accepted Saurabhuma Bhattacharya's request that he meet Ramananda. So when spiritual master recommends us to Lord, Lord similarly accepts and he embraces us. So with this, I would like to end today's session. Chaitanya Charitamrita Granth ki, Jai Srila Prabhupada ki, Jai Gurudev ki, Jai Ananda Koti Vaishnava ki, Jai Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. So I did up to verse 68. So Nityansh Prabhu will announce who will be the next speaker, verse 69 onwards. Hare Krishna. Any questions or comments? Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Guruji, Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna.
Krishna Guruji, very nice nectarian class today. You really taken us to that. Guruji, I just this one you mentioned that because of our past karmas, we get separated from the Lord. But when we start devotional service to the Lord, it is mentioned also that our all past karmas will be vanquished.
Yeah.
Right. So how to understand that even though our past karmas is vanquishing, then why Lord is leaving? Just want to understand. Can you please explain a little bit?
Prabhu, here the two things we need to understand that when we accept Krishna consciousness, yes, our past karma is everything is vanquished because the power of devotional service. But one must also understand that the reactions of it is like a Prabhupada gives example of when you switch off the fan will still keep rotating and it takes some time to halt. So the vasana of our past activities is still there. So still we are tested how sincere we are, because since we are in this material world, as I was explaining before also, that who Maya will approach. Maya will not approach the fallen conditioned souls because they are already fallen. Who Maya will approach? Devotees. When a devotee is getting initiated, I heard this from Lord, from Radhana Swami, his own as Radhana Swami Maharaj. He was mentioning once that when a disciple is taking initiation, disciple may not be attentive to hear instructions of spiritual master because he was in ecstasy. Oh, I am getting initiated. He is not hearing instructions. Who hears instructions carefully? Maya. Says Maya listening. Oh, this is how you want to escape from me? I will lay a trap. Because it's not that Maya wants us to fall down. Maya wants us to succeed on all this and go back. Two things here. One is that we cannot go back to Lord's abode unless we are 100%, not 99.99%, 100%. And that 100% comes only after continuous, like how a diamond is a coal converts in diamond after so much of pressure. Similarly, we undergo all these tests and sufferings in this material world. Still we stand on this devotional platform, then Lord says, yes, now you are come. Because even the smallest distraction, we may fall down. Though, okay, we take up chanting, but again, Ajamila's case, you see, and so there is always a possibility. So that's why we must continuously, how we can avoid all this loop, continuous association of devotees and following the instructions of Shiksha Guru and spiritual master. Then the connection should be there. We are connected always, connected to the chain. We should not be leaving the hand of Shiksha Guru and Diksha Guru. So that connection, when it remains, then all these tests, Lord leaving us, Lord living here, so this pastime is only a kind of a pastime for us to understand. Even Lord lives, Lord is sitting in our heart. Physically, because we are meditating on the Lord. Vipralamba Bhava. How Lord left Brajavasis, but still he was there. We were associating with him. So Lord actually never leaves us. When we are constantly serving him, Lord never leaves us. So physically, Lord is leaving us. Physically, we are separating from. These are all not the point of discussion. When we completely forget the instructions of the Lord, not associating with the devotees, and trying to enjoy this material world, then the problem. Hope this is clear.
Right. Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dhanavad Pranam.
Hare Krishna. So, Prabhu, Shamsundar Prabhu, any blessing, any instruction?
Krishna. Oh, Prabhu, wonderful class, wonderful pastimes in between Sarvama Bhattacharya and Ravana and Mahaprabhu. Wonderful, Prabhuji. Okay.
Thank you, Prabhu. Thank you very much, all the devotees, for patiently tolerating the session today. Nityananda Prabhu, who is preacher next week? If you have readily available, you can announce, or we can announce in the group later.